Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yom Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim, Hakodash. Double honors to the Apostle Elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to those who elect the brother Isaiah. Back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Hakodash, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying. Okay. I was watching the brother here. You want a thon? Formerly of the GMS Pittsburgh. He's now a member of GMS Dallas. Okay, had the pleasure of preaching with this brother. Yeah, technically my elder, right? My elder. But yeah, he was doing a lesson here about water. And so there are water shortages across the US. So I went ahead and looked up some articles actually to kind of supplement, and respond to this lesson. Okay, had a few thoughts about some things, but yeah, edifying lesson, check it out. Okay, so there's a lot going on with this water thing. So here's an article here. A tremendously grave. The first US city is on track to run out of water, and it just so happens that the city of Corpus Christi, I believe, because I know Corpus Christi isn't far from Dallas. Okay, so pretty sure Corpus Christi only exists in Texas. All right, it's just Corpus Christi. Yeah, city in Texas. And see here, I can get it on the map. There's Corpus Christi. Dallas shouldn't be far. Well, at least I thought it wasn't far. I never been to Corpus Christi, so it is far. Yeah, it looks like a good distance away, actually. So Salaki about that, because Waco's like an hour or something away. So I know that's probably like a, whew. Let me see if that's probably like anyway, neither here nor there, but that's probably like a five-hour drive, possibly 4 hour something drive. But anyway, so in the video, he posted a couple of clips, and one of them was talking about how the elite with their bunkers are draining up all the water, which, yeah, of course they are, and everything like that. But the angle I was thinking about, which the brother did mention, the elder did mention, what was how Esau he's been controlling the resources, and he'll let other people perish, okay, for his need to control. And as the elder put it, in order for the NWO to come to pass, he has to be able to manipulate these things. But I was just thinking about how he'll bottle all the water up, put it in these big ass tanks. They're allowed to do different things. So here, this is what I want to do actually. Let me go back. So the AI overview was interesting. Water shortages mean there's not enough clean water. We get that, right? So it went into some of the key shortages. It says the key causes of the shortage. Climate change, they try to spout that, right? But it says high consumption. Agriculture uses about 70% of the world's fresh water, often inefficiently. And then it says groundwater depletions, blah, 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 right? And I thought about it, how there was every now and again there's these controversies. When the Northern Kingdom Jakes was fighting, I think it was Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola seized private water. I feel like it was owned. Okay. Environmental authorities in Coca-Cola restricted local Coca-Cola operations from extracting water from certain springs in La Calera to prioritize community access. Okay. And I feel like there was some Native American plants in regions like San Cristobal. That name Cristobal Colon, right? That was the real name of Christopher Columbus, was Cristobal Colon. De Las Casas face intense backlash for extracting millions of liters daily, while local indigenous neighborhoods experience dry taps. You see, it's plunder. Mexico desperate for water. There are a lot of these. There are a lot of these corporations that get to hoard these resources. Think about all the poison soda that's bottled up, millions, by these major corporations. Because whether it has white sugar, what do they call real cane sugar, or it has aspartame or whatever else high fructose you want to put in it. All right, it's poison. All right, sugar is a poison, man. It causes severe inflammation, diabetes. People get their limbs chopped off. All right, and it's in an unnatural state when you get it in that crystallized form. All right, but we've been spoiled by these things, man. All right, so I just want to kind of go. There's really the main thing that I feel in my spirit is keeping all the water, because I've spoken on this before. The water that's put in a bottle, it's impossible for that water to evaporate and return into the water system. Okay, now don't get me wrong, there's a benefit to bottling up water during a drought and doing things like that, right? But this devil, man, as the elder read, all right, let's get this in the Apocrypha, which I just kind of Ecclesiastes or Sirach 39 and 26. It says it lists 10 fundamental elements like water, fire, iron, salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, blood of the grape, and clothing. Yeah, it says water too. Sirach 29 and 21. Let's get some of these. Where does 29 say this? So here's 39. Why did it say 29? Was that an error? I'm wondering. Because it quoted that, but it didn't say. It doesn't show it anyway. Sirach 39 and 26 says the principal things for the whole use of a man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. And all these things have been corrupted, man. Okay? All these things have been corrupted, man. Salt is corrupted. It's been stripped of all the minerals. It's unnatural. Flour of wheat been hybridized. You eat some wheat, you start itching and breaking out. Some people get bloated. Honey's cut now with high fructose corn syrup, and they don't have to put it on the label. Okay, milk. We know about the dairy industry. Milk is horrible. It's like some percentage of pus is in there, and the blood of the grape. And grapes are corrupted. Okay, seedless. Even with the seeds, pesticides and, probably hybridized, and, oil is, seed oils and clothing, all the mixed fabric. So these are just some of the things, and I'm curious about this Sirach 29 and 21. I feel like AI just probably misspoke. Oh no, this is good. Sirach 29:21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and an house to cover shame. These are the core principal things that you need as a human being, man. You need water, because they say that they got to give you a certain what is it? 777. I think it's like 7 days no water, you'll die. What is it? 7 weeks no food. I can't remember. You know what I'm saying? It's something like that, man. 7-7 rule, man. But yeah, after 7 days, you probably would, in this day and age, in this feeble flesh, 7 days no water, you probably would die, man. You go on a 7-day fast, and I've been on a 7-day fast before. I did it once, and at the end of it, when I drank the water, my body was hurting. Like my whole body, my knee, everything was hurting, man. My body was through. You see, in that exact hour when the 7 days hit, man, the hour exact hour that I had stopped and I drank that water, man, bro, I had some fruit and some water, bro. I was through. But anyway, Esau knows this. All right. And you know, he's gonna put the burden on the people. You see? Cities can serve as the Colorado River Reservoir faces a dead pool crisis, man. You see? And it looks drained. But this looks like possibly one of them facilities. Let's see what this says. The intake tubes at the Hoover Dam, where water levels have declined. Okay. Growing demand for its water shrink the Colorado River and create challenges, you know. This could create ripple effects. Nearly half of the country's vegetables and more than 3/4 of its fruits and nuts are grown in California. And a substantial amount are irrigated with the water from Colorado. Which those industries are owned by companies, okay? And if you don't have money, you don't get access to that to what that water supposedly is doing. You know, especially with all the waste here in America. And it's not like corporations. Now I'll say this generally speaking, but every time I've ever seen stuff being thrown away and been like, let me get that. That ain't bad. I've always been told like, nah, I would get fired. They would say I'm stealing. I've seen it. I've been working in retail and seen where it's like, we don't care if you work here and we ain't paying you but $14 an hour. You can't have this. You know, you can't have this. I'm throwing this away. And it's like, it's a weird thing to see. So, you know, not only is the water being used for a product that you can't probably afford, you know, not saying us per se, but just generally speaking, meaning, you know, there's a lot of homelessness out here. All right. The stuff gets thrown away. So we found that. Okay. And I'm going to get this one, right? Because ultimately, this devil has everything. Okay. But it's not enough for him. Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, by his philosophies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But he gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So yeah, we understand he goes into the different lands. You know, as the scriptures talk about the what is it? It's in Habakkuk, it's either 2 and 1. Or it's either 1 and might be in Habakkuk 1. Shoot. Yep, the Chaldeans, right? For lo, and they're called the daughter of the Chaldeans. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. So that's what Esau does, man. All right, in his reputation, as it says, they are terrible and dreadful, and their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Okay, and there's a saying that says, let me see, I think it's like reputation proceeds thy reputation precedes thee. Modernized as your reputation precedes you means that people already know about your character, work, or history before they actually meet you. So that's where they got that saying from. All right, it says they are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity, their manner of judgment, the way that they judge, and their lack of dignity, really, the type of dignity that they have, shall proceed of themselves. People, what do they call them? Colonizers. Everybody, you know, even Esau has a what's the word? A character, okay, a characteristic that everybody identifies that nigga by, which is colonizer. That's what they say. You know, Jake being into that Hamite spirit, man. You know, that folly, but you know, Yeah, you niggas a gentrifier, colonizer. All right, everybody knows about this nigga, man. Your reputation precedes you. People, negative use. People have heard about your bad behavior or mistakes before you walk in. You see? And I know they probably don't have the origin of it. All right. But anyway, I don't want to get too far. But yeah, I just want to kind of, lamb back on it. They say Corpus Christi in Texas is about to run out of water. But at the end of the day, this devil's doing these things by design. He's, hoarding the water on purpose. You know what I'm saying? He's depriving people of these things on purpose, okay, for his purpose. All right? Which is a nefarious purpose, man. All right? A negative and a wicked purpose. All right? And we're going to need Yahweh Shem Yahushua to protect us in the days to come, man, because, yeah, it's going to be, oh, hey, what's that scripture? And then this will be the last one, Lord willing. And Salakia for not providing more scriptures throughout. I tend to speak a lot at times. Ezekiel 4 and let me see. I thought that was another one. Yashar water. I don't know if it's on right here. Oh yeah, drink water. I'm gonna put astonishment because that's more. That's more. Ezekiel 4. Is it 16? Let me see. Yeah. Moreover, said he unto me, Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. So these things are coming. Okay. There will be some famine. Okay, in the land. The scriptures talk about this. Okay. What was that? Let's see if it just pops up. Second Ezra 15. And a man, and 15 and 19, Salakia, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So these things are coming, man. These things are coming, and we see the works of these things happening. Okay, and this devil can already make it rain when he wants to. All right. We have to be like that dude Moses, man, make a dang water machine to pull water out the atmosphere, which really, the technology exists. I'm going to say this. Think about an air conditioner. An air conditioner uses a certain technology to create condensation. And air conditioners create water. They pull water from the atmosphere. A lot of air conditioners have a mode on them called dry mode, which I believe in that mode. I'm going to just say, what does dry mode do on it acts as a dehumidifier. It removes extra moisture from the air by running and cycling and making a sticky room feel fresher and cooler. So there is a certain way, it's just, we have to, hey, Lord willing, everything, we're not going to be our own salvation. All right. But it's these type of things that are like, you see? That's interesting. Maybe you could do this, or maybe you could do that, right? All right. So, I'm going to just end it there. Shalom.